Hello everyone. So for today's agenda, we will tackle about the human rights and the economic policy. So now, what's human rights and what is it all about? No, so human rights it is all about the fair treatment towards each other. So the Universal Declaration of Human Rights states that all people should treat each other equally. So meaning dapat kung unsa man na imong gender, unsa imong kasarian, unsa imong religion, dapat i-fair jud ka og tama and equal. Dato man ka or pobre. So that's the definition of human rights, no? So unsa jud ning human rights? So human rights is karapatang pantao. For example, as estudyante, karapatan nato mo eskwela kay syempre estudyante man ta, di ba? And hindi na po nasa tuwa tanan tao na ay karapatan. Kung masamad ka, o karapatan nimo magpatambal, karapatan nimo matong ospital. Also kung nagtrabaho ka, karapatan nimo bayaran og tama. If kung weekend, holiday, karapatan sa mga nagtrabaho, sa estudyante, sa tanan tao nga magpahulay. So mao na siya ang human rights. So add up dahil sa mga pag-ingon, ang human rights nagatabang na siya para i-avoid ang discrimination. Now let's move on to economic policy. So economic policy is it a government policy that maintains economic growth and tax revenue. So naay duha ka policy ang economic policy. The first one is fiscal policy and monetary policy. So to cut the long story short, the fiscal policy is mao ni siya ang nagagasto sa kwarta. Ang monetary policy is mao ni siya ang gabuhat sa kwarta. So gibalik-balik naman ni Ma'am Lau sa to explain na. So ano na naman to, let's make it short na lang. So yeah, that's economic policy. So now, is there a relationship between human rights and economic policy? So may relasyon nga ba sila? So my answer is yes, because dili nila ma-enjoy ang ilahang karapatan if and only if walay government policy. Why? Ang ginabuhat sa government policy is gina-maintain ang atong economic growth, right? So sila ang nagapa-maintain sa unemployment rate. So ginapababa nila na nga rate para ang tao magkatrabaho, and para pag magkatrabaho mga tao na sila bayaran nga taxes. So asa mo adtong taxes, di ba, sa gobyerno? So that's it. So dili pod nila enjoy ang human rights kung naay inflation, di ba? So kinsa may control sa inflation, di ba, gobyerno? So naay relasyon ang duha. Dili ma-enjoy sa mga tao ang ilahang karapatan kung walay government policy. So maglisod ang mga tao kung walay mga policy. So I guess kung walay government policy, magkakagulo ata yung mga tao. So let's move on to the next slides, no? So the impact of the economic policy on the choices of the human rights. So enjoyment, so meaning kasiyahan ng lahat ng tao. So impact of economic policy, impact sa gobyerno at local, national at international. So first one, local. For example, Davao City. Davao City is the second CPS city in the Asia, I guess. So yeah. So Davao City is the second CPS city, no. So dili na siya maabot dira ang pwesto if dili maayo ang atong mayor, right? So tungod ni sa government. And isa pa, lahat sa tanan tao diri sa Davao malipayon, nalipay sila. Not everyone but mostly nalipay sila sa patakaran sa mayor kay tungod na abot sa dira nga posisyon ng atong Davao, and daghan pud nag-improve tungod sa government diri. Isa na dira ang 911. 911 stations, daghan ng 911 stations, ambulance, police car, and equipment, medical equipment sa mga hospital. And daghan na putag raw materials na nag-abot diri sa Davao. And daghan na putag mga daghan na putag mga food, daghan na pud nakasulod ng mga pagkaon diri sa Davao, no? So tungod na siya sa gobyerno diri sa Davao, tungod sa mayor. So next is national. Ang best example na sa national is Philippines. So dili na to istorya ng Philippines karon, no, kay syempre kabalo naman sa mga balita-balita, nag-away-away at mga gobyerno. So let's go back to the Duterte admin. So dito tamang base sa pamamaraan ni Duterte. Katong kasagsagan ng Duterte era is this is only my opinion, no, pero daghan og nag-agree siyang pamamalakad kay tulad ng Davao, naging safe na din yung ibang lugar dahil siya yung naging presidente. And naging maganda naman yung mga pamulakad niya dahil marami siyang nagawa. Napalinis niya yung Manila Bay, pati na yung ibang lugar, at marami na din siyang natulungan mga tao. So I guess na enjoy ng mga tao ang kanilang karapatan. Madami na ding mga equipment ang ating mga hospital. Madami na ding hospital actually dito sa Philippines, and that's all because of the government. And last one, the international. So based on my research, the top 7, I guess, in the European country is Germany. So Germany is the top 7 most politically stable in European country. And why is that? So because of their government, because tungod sila ang mga gobyerno dito na sila pamamalakad, gwapo ilahang lugar, limpyo, gwapo ilahang transportation. That's it. So that's the human rights and economic policy.
So the next is historical hesitancy of human rights movement. So the historical hesitancy of human rights movement kay naga-engage sila sa economic policy refers to the movements og naga-focus sila sa primarily on political and civil rights like freedom of speech and protection from abuse rather than addressing economic issues. Ang economic issues naga-conflict ug naga-develop as prioritizing sa economic growth over human rights. Meaning ani, ang movement has often overlooked how economic policy often people basic needs and well-being. So, the next is reason behind the hesitancy. So, it is difficult to address with the human rights framework and advocating sa changes na sometimes makita as a conflict with developed goals or risking the movements and influence. So, kini siya, it was driven by political agendas, cultural and biases, and power dynamics. Dominant nation prioritize issues that align with their interests, such as civil and political rights, as I mentioned kaganiha, panahon atong Cold War, while neglecting others.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bianca Tamaya Gonzalez, and I'll be tackling about economic disparities in wealth inequality and national and international impacts of economic policies. Let's talk first the economic disparities and wealth inequality. So what is economic disparities? For me, ang economic disparities, kaya mo ni siya ang pagkakaiba-iba sa ekonomiya. Like, tumutukoy sa mga pagkakaibang nakikita sa kita, yaman at access sa mga yaman o resources sa loob ng isang lipunan. Pwede po siya sa iba't ibang paraan tulad ng hindi pagkakapantay-pantay ng kita, hindi pagkakapantay-pantay ng yaman. So that's why ginatawag siya na economic disparities because mga kalahian sa isa ka ekonomiya like pagkakaiba-iba from the words itself. Next is the wealth inequality. So what is wealth inequality? Wealth inequality undermines a broad range of human rights, including the right to an adequate standard of living, access to education, healthcare, political participation, and the right to be free from discrimination. Addressing wealth inequality is essential to ensuring that all individuals can fully exercise their human rights and live with dignity and fairness in society. Right to education and healthcare. Inequality often limits access to quality education and healthcare, both of which are essential to the enjoyment of other human rights. Poorer individuals or families may not be able to afford proper education or healthcare, leading to intergenerational cycles of poverty. Like, patuyok-tuyok na lang na cycle sa ilang paghihirap. So, as a result, their ability to participate fully in economic and social life is constrained, like limit siya from the word constrained. National and international impacts of economic policies. Understanding how human rights standards apply to both the national and international impacts of economic policies. The Philippines. Human rights standards apply across various phases of government and societal structures, ensuring the protection and promotion of fundamental rights for all individuals. National impacts, right to an adequate standard of living. One key human right is the right to an adequate standard of living. Right to work and fair wages. Another important human right is the right to work and earn a fair wage. Access to education and healthcare. Economic policies also impact our ability to access education and healthcare. International impacts. How economic policies can reach beyond our borders and affect people in other countries. Foreign trade and investment. The economic policies of the Philippines influence its participation in global trade and its attractiveness to foreign investors. Labor migration. The management of labor migrations influenced by economic policies is crucial due to the Philippines being a major source of overseas workers.
And now we are going to talk about human rights obligations of government. We are going to explore human rights treaties that bind government to mobilize resources for the fulfillment of human rights. These treaties outline specific obligations and standards that the government is expected to uphold. Some key treaties include Universal Declaration of Human Rights or UDHR. Although not legally binding, the UDHR sets out fundamental rights and principles that governments are encouraged to respect. And we also have International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights or ICCPR. These outlines the Philippines ratified the ICCPR in 1986. Third, we have International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights or ICESCR. This ratified by the Philippines in 1974, the ICESCR recognizes the right to work, adequate housing, healthcare, and education, among others. Fourth, we have Convention on the Rights of the Child or CRC. This ratified by the Philippines in 1990, the CRC places obligations on the government to protect the rights of children. The government's obligations under these treaties extend to mobilizing resources to fulfill human rights, including financial, technical, and human resources. The precise standards related to participation, transparency, accountability, and non-discrimination in economic policies.
These standards play a significant role in ensuring that governments fulfill their duty to promote and protect human rights, particularly in the economic sphere. Participation. Citizen participation is a fundamental aspect of human rights and good governance. Transparency. Transparency is essential to guaranteeing accountability and preventing corruption in economic policies. Accountability. Government have a responsibility to be accountable for the implementation and outcomes of their economic policies. Non-discrimination. Economic policies must be designed and implemented in a manner that ensures non-discrimination and equal treatment for all individuals, irrespective of their race, ethnicity, gender, religion, or any other characteristic. To fulfill their human rights obligations, government should align their economic policies with these standards of participation, transparency, accountability, and non-discrimination. And now we are going to talk about how government are obliged to ensure their economic policies advance rather than hinder the human rights in other countries. We need to understand their obligation. When we discuss how governments are obliged to ensure their economic policies advance rather than hinder human rights in other countries, we are delving into the concept of international responsibility and ethical governance. The Philippines is obligated to ensure that the economic policies advance human rights globally by adhering to international agreements, conducting human rights impact assessment, promoting fair trade and development assistance, and fostering regional and bilateral relations that respect the rights of workers, indigenous communities, and their environment.
So, good morning everyone. My name is Analia Ismael and then ako ang topic is economic instability and deprivations. Economic instability refers to unpredictable changes in the economy like recessions or inflation, which can make it hard for businesses and individuals to plan for the future. So, ang economic instability muna nagamark by volatile growth, high inflation, unemployment, currency devaluations, or financial crisis. Ang mga cause ana kay ang public instability, global market fluctuations, o ang poor economic policies. Tapos ang deprivations is the lack of basic necessities like food, shelter, or education due to economic challenges. Katugani siya ang deprivation mo na itong mga tao nga maglisod sa ilang basic needs lang na siya pero maglisod gahapon sila sa ilang mga needs, mga shelter mo na itong mga deprivations. And then ang economic instability and then ang deprivations na sila ay interconnection. Ang economic instability kay muna to makakontribute to deprivation because it can cause job loss, wage stagnation, increased prices for goods and services. And then ang deprivations muna tong ang deprivations can reinforce economic instability by limiting people's ability to contribute to the economy, reducing consumer spending, and then increasing social welfare costs. Thank you.
Global financial crisis and its impact. Global financial crisis is nahitabo siya around 2007 to 2008, which is isa sa pinakadako na nahitabo na crisis sa ekonomiya. Nag-start siya sa US because ang housing dito and mga mortgage is nagdako or nagmahal, and ang mga bangko ato is nagapautang sa ilaha para mabayaran ang ilang needs ato without properly checking if papabayaran bagbalik sa ila ang ilang mga gipangutang. And ato nga time is wala man nabalik, which leads to a which leads to a bankruptcy or like huge losses sa mga bangko because nag-rely lang sila ato nga mga risky na loans. And because of this, daghan na walan og trabaho and naglisod ato nga time. And wealthy people is mas naging powerful while ang ordinary people is mas nag-struggle. So, lessons learned and challenges by the international community in response to the crisis. And kung naay mahitabo na mga crisis like katong sa pandemic or kanang mga natural disasters or kanang mga emergency sa other countries, kay naa sad other countries ana nga makahelp sa ilaha because naay mga organization ang mga countries na pwede lang makahelp sa ilaha. However, limited lang ang resources. And because of these problems, kay makalearn sad sila which makatabang sa future na mahitabo na problem sa ilaha. Because of the past experience is magamit nila ang ilang mga na-learn para mas maging effective or mas ma-prepare sila sa future na mahitabo.
Fiscal austerity and tax abuse. Examining the rise of fiscal austerity as a norm in economic policy. Fiscal austerity became a common after the 2008 financial crisis when ang governments nag-tried na reduce ang debt by cutting spending and raises taxes, but people still argue kung nakatabang ba kani or nakadaot sa economy. The proliferations and tax abuse and its implication of human rights and economic policy. Tax abuse, like avoiding or not paying taxes, reduces government money nga mao ang hinungdan nganong lisod nila matagaan og serbisyo ang sama sa healthcare or education, which makadaot sa tao nga ug maka-affect sa plano to help the economy grow and reduces poverty.
Human rights advocacy in economic policy. Human rights advocacy in economic context focus on promoting and protecting the rights of individuals and communities affected by economic policies and practices and systems. Kaning appeal po dari ang addressing inequality, ensuring fair labor practices, and holding governments and corporations accountable for upholding international human rights standards in economic activities. So, human rights advocacy in economics seeks to bridge the gap between growth and equity, ensuring that economic systems work for all people, particularly the most vulnerable. How it bridges the gap by reducing poverty, education and health, transparency and accountability, participation and inclusivity, global cooperation, public awareness education, importance of educating the public.
A real-life example of how economic policies affect human rights happened during Marawi crisis in 2017. The government is focused more on big projects like roads and buildings na nawalan na sila og atensyon sa poor communities like Marawi City, which they feel neglected that caused them to violent conflict. So this affect their needs, access of needs like water, food, healthcare, and education, and also dagan og mga nadamay or namatay ani na crisis and nawalan og balay. This shows na dapat pag mag-decide ang government is need nila og they should consider the people lives to avoid bigger problems. Naay mga specific laws and policies na naay negative or positive impact sa human rights, such as the 1997 Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act that protects rights and identity of the indigenous people. And also the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020, which gives the authority to detain suspected terrorists that in 24 hours without warrant, which makabiolate sila og rights if dili siya mayus og tarong.
Hello, Ma'am. I am Jose Magaway from Group 2, Week 17. Identifying challenges integrating human rights into economic policy. Integrating human rights into economic policy is a complex, involved several between challenges. These challenges arise from the internet tension between economic priorities, such as growth, efficiency, and marketing competitiveness, and the fundamental principles of human rights which emphasize equality, justice, and dignity for all individuals. So ano ang socio-economic disparities? Ang socio-economic disparities ay nag-refer siya into wealth, income, education, and healthcare access sa overall conditions among the groups, people of society. Mo ni sa mga importante pag sa social disparities. Political will and resistance. Political will refers to the commit of political leaders, institution, or decision making to undertake that address specified issues even such as actions are challenging, unpopular, or face resistance. It could involve prioritizing long-term benefits or short-term political gains. It can be manifest in the legislation, policies, or reforms. Political will and resistance. Ang political will ay nag-refer siya sa mga commits ng political leader or decision making para ma-undertake ang mga address sa mga specific issue kagaya ng mga challenges unappropriate or face institution. Kaya ang kagaya ng mga short-term goals ay magkaiba din ang long-term goals nila at saka benefit niya para makagain ng political and reforms. Corruption and accountability are crucial to issues that influence the negotiation, implementation, or effectiveness of international trade agreements. Ang korupsyon ay hindi nila binibigay sa lahat ng tamang budget at ang accountability ay yan ang mga pagkikita ng kanilang mga aksyon o desisyon nila kung paano maka-epekto sa iba. Conflicting interests in international trade agreements arise when countries have different prioritizing economic goals or social and environmental concerns. These agreements aim to promote trade, but negotiation of often challenges due to competing international interests. Ang conflicting interest in trade agreements, ayan siya ang trade na kung sa ano pa ay switch nila ang kanilang mga ibibigay sa iba din. The future prospect and recommendation for more equitable and human rights focused economic policy landscape. The Philippines face numerous challenges in creating equitable human rights focus on economic policy landscape, and it gives us income equity, poverty, and structural weakness in governments and institutions. However, these are the opportunity to address these challenges and promote inclusive development. Sinasabi dito na kailangan natin ng mga labor rights at saka social justice para ma-adapt natin ang gobyerno sa mga kahirapan at mga katatagan natin. Promote inclusive growth. Inclusive growth refers to economic progress that it is equitable, sustainable, and benefit everyone in society, especially marginally or disadvantaged group. Ang inclusive growth ay nagpapakita sa ng economic growth kung ano man ang disadvantage niya o advantage niya. Kasama nito ang mga benefit na mga economic development at para maipakita ang sustained stability. Address income equality.
Income equality refers to even distribution of income within a population. It means that some individuals or households earn much more than others, leading to specific disparities in wealth and economic opportunities. Addressing income equality is crucial for building a fair and more stability society. Ang address income earning ito ay ang pagpapataas ng kita nito. At kung ikumpara sa iba, ito ay nakakatulong sa ekonomiya natin. Ang strength labor rights is essential for ensuring fair treatment, improving working conditions, and reducing income inequality. Labor rights refers to the protection and freedom afforded to workers, included their ability to work in a safe environment, earning fair wages, and join unions to advocate their interests. Ito ay mahalaga para sa mga nagtatrabaho at para ma-improve ang mga ang pagtatrabaho nila. Isa ito sa pagpapasilak ng freedom at ito ay makakatulong para sa kanila para ma-contribute ng ating ekonomiya sa ating bansa. Foster an enabling environment for business. Foster an enabling environment for business involves creating conditions that support entrepreneurship, growth, and sustainability. Ang sinasabi dito ay ang pagsusuporta ng ating ekonomiya sa ating business para maka-succeed tayo. Promote sustainable development. Promoting sustainable development involves integrating economic growth, social institution, and environmental protection into the development process. Ang pagpapahalaga nito ay kung ano ang present at future niya sa ating mga generation.